Hey everybody, it's Monster back again with Opus Gaming, and I'm here today with Andrew Nelson, who made it to day 2 of the Battle Spirit Saga's launch event here in Las Vegas. We're coming here live. We don't know how standings are currently as recording this, but I'm sure I'm going to have it in the title of this video. But what we're going to do, we're not going to talk about the channel or anything too much. We're going to do that at the end. Let's get straight into the deck profile. Andrew, if you want to just start talking about your deck and what you piloted yesterday and today.
Yeah, sure. So I brought purple mid-range. Tried to get a healthy mix of both curse and core removal.
For sure.
In order to cover my bases for what my opponent would have as far as protection against it. Purple was definitely early on, purple was definitely considered one of the better decks or better colors in general. Still feel like that's kind of the case. I think purple overall has the best card quality. But other colors like both white and red, I feel like red has the best overall tournament strategy. With the early dinosaur confront into Big Bang Nova, and then white especially with the updated elk rules can just kind of slow the game down and just thunk big threats on the field that are too difficult to interact with.
Absolutely. I think Elk is really, really strong, though, honestly. I think Elk was a big player in day 1, as well as playing. I played Red Nova, so I do think it does have a very strong tournament strategy with all the draw, all the removal, and then a really strong endgame. But man, purple, as I played against 2 purples and I lost against 2 purples, it was a very strong strategy, and you have just so much going on, and it takes a lot of card knowledge to pilot into purple. So I can see that for sure.
Almost everything in purple can find a way to crash through your opponent's defenses.
Definitely.
It's definitely a tempo thing. If you're able to tempo out and get purple off the field for even just one turn, purple struggles to get back in the game. At least early on.
Absolutely, absolutely. Perfect. Do you want to talk about some of your card choices and what got you there?
Sure. Obvious combo is the bishop into Curse Dragon in order to clear the field.
For sure.
Definitely need that for against the Big Bang decks. It's still good against during game 1. Still good against white decks.
Oh wow.
Any yellow aggros, if they get you down to 1 or 2 really early on. Typically, they are spending a bunch of their cores and only able to assign 1 to their dudes. So you can at least Curse Dragon to try to reestablish the board or reestablish yourself on the board and clear their board.
Definitely. Curse Dragon comes out and does a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pentacles is a great just single body to the turn it comes down, just deal with one one threat that you've been struggling with.
For sure.
The Dragon Naga Assassin I particularly like as a neutral threat in the early game. You don't have to commit too much to the Naga, or commit you just don't have to commit too much to the Naga in order to start getting some advantage and just putting some early pressure on.
For sure. That makes a lot of sense. I like and then just because of level 3, you're drawing a card, and you can do that very early on into the game where you're already chipping damage, so you're just getting a little bit of resource back. So
get some chip damage in, put a little pressure on. You're drawing every time you attack.
For sure.
The Quetzalcoatl is a nice one-of in order to generated another card, so since you can get any of your curse guys like Camelot Knight, Aggro Veil, Assassin.
For sure.
It's similar to the Blazing Boar for red.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I was going to touch on. Did you see it enough as a one-of, do you feel like?
Yeah. And that's all I really needed to do. You still have the option with like Bacillus or Pentacles in order to get his level 2 trigger to happen.
For sure.
To just destroy something that's at 1 core. Forces your opponent to also manage cores on their guys to at least be 2.
Yeah.
That's kind of purple in general.
That makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. Okay. How about for burst? You only played Absolute Ice Shield, it looks like. I didn't realize that was the only one that you played. How did it perform? Did you feel like you ever needed a burst a little bit earlier into your life than just the Absolute Ice Shield?
Than just the Ice Shields? Not really.
Okay.
So
I can agree to that for sure.
Yeah, right. The Starblast draw It's very good. It's I feel like it's relatively inconsistent because it's obviously very good into the purple match. All of like purple's good things have on summon, and the top end of most like both red and yellow have good win summon on their top end. So you can predict that you'll see that. White doesn't really have a whole lot, so the Starburst draw out of the burst felt inconsistent.
Okay.
And then purple's got enough natural draw just within its own colors to not need that. For burst, so the absolute ice shield did exactly what it needed to do, just keep me in the game.
Yep, keep you alive.
Yep.
And then how about for your magic card choices?
Magic cards, well, obviously the 4 Deadly Balance, just kind of good removal. If your opponent is aggressive on the field early on and you don't have anything on the field, you can just 3 mana or 3 core kill spell.
Okay.
The Burning Force is a little bit of a necessary evil for against the aggressive deck, since it can hit 2 things. And if you go up against white and they felt purple was too oppressive for their matchup, they could main board Fulla, and that's purple's best way of dealing with Fulla.
For sure.
If your opponent is playing smart.
Yep.
Definitely like the core theft. I was initially only on 1 of the core theft.
That's what I really wanted to know about. Okay.
But a lot of times when I just needed the 1 flash speed removal to close out the game, core theft definitely paved the way, since core theft specifically puts them into the trash, not into their reserve.
Yeah.
So if your opponent is trying to like match your tempo and have an ice shield in their burst and are at 1 and are at 2, you can core theft to get rid of all of their cores so they can't pay for the ice shield
and then
when you
push
crash
through.
in. Yeah.
Wow, that's a really, really good play. And not testing purple, and I didn't test against purple enough, obviously, but that's a really great like interaction to have access to, and I can see where that really helped you get to top 32 100%. Sweet. Do you want to talk a little bit about your sideboard as well?
Sure. So obviously full is for the mirror match.
Yep.
Kind of just the best card against purple. Was expecting to see and possibly struggle against a lot of aggro decks. So the Bloody Rain was intended to be just another ice shield, just give me a chance to survive.
For sure.
I ended up not siding it in ever, because I didn't get a whole lot of testing against aggro decks, but the couple times I did run into aggro at the tournament here, my opponents obviously knew I was playing purple, so they would tend to just load all of their dudes up with multiple cores.
Definitely, yep.
So, hindsight, the Bloody Rain wouldn't have done anything.
Yeah, okay.
The Maduke, awesome, absolutely needed against the white control matchups, since getting the Blood Curse and going to 6 cores to give all of your cursed dudes Blood Curse can crash through all of the white's defenses.
For sure. That makes a lot of sense. How was it? Did you ever bring that in against red Novas?
She was also there in case I felt like I wanted it against Nova.
Yep.
I felt like the counter sword was probably just good enough. I do remember siding Maduke in the Nova matches. I don't think I ever actually saw her.
Okay, yeah.
Post-board.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Going back into day 1, so what were some of your matchups that you went into playing against day 1?
Sure. So round 1 was a strange red-white control shell.
Yeah.
He had some interesting things going on.
Yeah.
My hands were awful all 3 games.
Okay.
Lost the first game, but I was able to stall out and find a way to win both game 2 and 3.
Okay.
Round 2 was against yellow. He was doing the 2-drop aggro mixed in with the Fabled Beasts for some decent mix between the two for consistency.
Yep, I can see that being good.
That one pretty bog standard. He didn't come out swinging out of the gates too much, so I was able to just do my mid-range things and stay in the game that way.
Definitely.
Game 3 was against Nova. Unfortunately, I have to say that my opponent in that match didn't understand how Nova worked, so I had to call the judge over a couple of times.
Yep.
Ended up drawing that round to time.
Okay.
Round 4. What was round 4? Round 4, I think that one was. Round 4 was white control.
Okay.
Just big fat bodies.
Yeah, big boys.
The big boys. He was struggling against all of the Kurs and the Netherworld Depths as a shorthand, effectively giving all of your guys Curse. Since it's non-targeted combat removal.
Yep.
So I was able to just keep pressuring in and making sure that all of my stuff traded with him rather than just dying to the blocks.
That makes a lot of sense, and that's a good strategy to go with for sure against white. Yep.
Against the white, yeah, I need that. Definitely need the Kurs and make sure that you're just trading with them. And then round 5, same matchup, another elk white matchup control.
Yeah.
Same thing happened. The Madook was an all-star in that one. She slammed down late in the game. Game 3, eventually had to throw like 7 cores onto my camel at night in order to just crash in.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Have them machine gun everything down.
Yeah.
So that was a fun experience.
That seems really, really interesting. Yeah, the purple versus purple matchup, I saw a couple of them next to me, and I would watch it off for a second, and then I would just get lost. Once those cores just start ramping up and flying all over the board, there's just, there's a lot going on. So, okay.
Round 7 was, that was the last round, right?
That was the second to last round. I think we ended on 8, or did we end on 7?
No, we ended on 7. Because 7 that's where the draw happened.
There we go.
That's where it ended.
Yep.
Round 7 was white aggro. I struggled at that match, and that was the one round in Swiss that I lost.
Okay, I gotcha. I mean, that's a really, really solid Swiss run. Congratulations.
Yeah,
that's fantastic, especially like coming from Minnesota. A lot of us came out here, dude. You made it the farthest, and that's congratulations. That's beautiful. Just some things that I bring up in every deck profile after a long tournament like this. Are there any things that you would change right away? Like something that you're like, this is for sure coming out, this is for sure coming in? Or how do you feel like all in all that your deck came together?
All in all, I think it came together. Obviously, the Bloody Rain was. I've figured out pretty early on into the Swiss that I didn't think I was actually going to bring the Bloody Rain in any matchup. So that's obviously a sideboard slot that can change. But as far as like what that would turn into, I haven't figured that out yet. Because I'm looking for very specific things.
Definitely.
Core thefts. Maybe a little cloggy, so maybe go down to 3 on that. The Quetzalcoatl was as a one of, just as intended. The 3 assassins were fine. I don't think I would need to go up to 4 on that one.
For sure.
Definitely consider Dark Knight Mordred, in the main at least.
Yeah.
As additional body, as an additional body that could clean up the aggro match, since he can come down, removes 2 cores from an exhausted thing, and then on attack removes a core from someone. So he can come down and kill 2 things the turn he comes out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, maybe Demo Bones, try to turn this a little more aggressive. That's always a possibility.
I mean, at the end of the day, you were one of the only people to make top 32 with purple, so you got to feel pretty good about the deck strategy in general, right? Before we wrap up with just talking about the channel and stuff like that, do you have any shout outs?
Definitely shout out to everyone from Minnesota.
Yeah.
So Made, Devin Moan. I traveled down here. It's all right. Traveled down here with Jeremiah Tonez and his son. And his son, Steven Tonez.
Yeah.
Great playtesting partners.
Okay.
Definitely shout out to the store that I work at, and our local LGS tabletop tournaments.
Huge shout out to tabletop tournaments for sure. Yeah, we love playing there from Opus Gaming.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely. I'll definitely be saving some of my.
There we go. Okay. This part will for sure get cut out.
But yeah, I'll be throwing a bunch of my prize winnings into as prize support for local tournaments.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you know I'm going to be coming to local tournaments to play for that. So
awesome. Yeah, good. Well, definitely be happy to see you.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, well, we'll wrap up the deck profile there. If you guys made it this far, drop a sub if you're not subbed already. Leave a like, leave a comment. I'd appreciate it. But this is me, Jamonster with Opus Gaming. Congratulations, Andrew. And we're going to be out. Absolutely. Take care.